So what I would like to do is take you through an actual lesson from The Sovereign Light, this book, A Course in Metaphysical Spirituality, and just kind of experience with me from page 235. I'd like to, this is day 69, and just kind of give you a little taste of what a whole entire lesson might be like. Okay, the sustenance of a higher self is this keeper of self, the soul by its physical perception to love itself. The answer is in the solution that the physical self must look deeper to confront within its linear confines. And the activation affirmation for the day is, I am the embodiment from the atonement that thrives as higher self. And from the spreading forth of the sea is this permanent happiness to shine upon the self from the infinite. A golden light of brilliance has endowed with all its glory to rise up and dazzle from the perfected deeds of self upon this very moment. The actions of self can only be perfected when coming from the heart, and in this mood of non-thought formation, all forms of radiance will come to merge. Intellect must rise and develop from the wisdom of the wandering self to invert back inwardly for home. At the central point of its existence is this reality from within the heart, a turquoise brilliance that brings forth the realities of four worlds into one. Like our heart, our human heart has four chambers. And for most of us, we experience four seasons, the elementals, four kingdoms. And I do believe this might be a little bit of a connection and continuation from another video excerpt that I have mentioned and discussed about my book. And now we're going deep diving into it. And so from water, earth, fire, and air can shine upon these simultaneously from within the heart's division. From within the self begins to know itself, and as a sentient beings are projected holographically outward, the part of self that wishes to communicate and connect is there. So we must awaken for those souls who desire this connection with the heart and become one, connected with our hearts to each other. And in this way can we find the pathway to the heart of the earth and connect. And so this is something that I will continue on and read. By understanding this, even the most wrathful of creatures can be integrated back with grace. Protective clothing influence prestige, being like knowing all the right people, and an endless list of forms of nothingness that give with magical powers. All these things are meaningless, and goes without saying just how much they lack the relevance within the grander scheme of things. Falling into the brute world, whereby stupidity predominates and the suffering of eliminatable miseries of slavery and dumbness is with this ego mind, has the self in the mood for unbearable misery. And then we go back into this, I am the embodiment from the atonement that thrives as higher self. Looking at the bigger picture. Be not jealous of all the worldly good. All these attachments bring warfare and quarreling. Seek instead to find compassion for these hoarding souls that linger on eternally within the ethers. Ride the rainbow bridge of this compassion to the bright path of heaven. When all is lost from interrupted obstructions, the self can become most enlightened then. For 10 minutes twice, today, morning and evening. Let this idea sink and linger deep into the consciousness. Repeat this affirmation as made mention, infinite, eternal flame, and or higher self. Think about it. Let related thoughts come to help recognize its truth and allow peace to flow over like a blanket of protection and surety. Briefly let the idle worship of gendered novelty thoughts related to God, higher self, and just let them go. Such is the kingdom of heaven, and such is the resting place for self, and in the greatest of purity to be at one with. Do not stress over the superficial thoughts that might identify as disturbing with resistance. Is as foolish as to claim them out. Just allow, and for the holy mind of God, higher self, to channel in. And the purpose for today is to go within to find that which is eternal, and through this process of neither attraction nor repulsion, the connection of sustained love for higher self, as you will God, and this self-awareness of loving flow. Thank you.